What the actual F is a Labubu?
Stay tuned for this important public disservice announcement.
This is all Chuck's idea. He loves to see my reactions to these ridiculous things that he writes. Here we go. What is a Labubu? It sounds like a injury to your vag. Oh, I hurt my Labubus. It starts with a cute little box. So far, so good. Inside is a toy, quirky, big-eared, snaggle-toothed monster that looks like it came from a children's book. But what happens when the desire for what's inside the box drives people to line up at 3 a.m. to get into fist fights, to commit burglary? I'm gonna go on a limb. Anyone that collects this stuff is not tough to take in a fist fight. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am. Today we're not talking about drugs or gambling in a casino. We're talking about this, Labubu, and how this little vinyl creature fueled a global wave of obsession, crime, and public meltdowns. Is this like Beanie Babies? I get it. I'm just digesting what you just showed me. You're looking at Labubu, specifically the Monsters series by an artist named Kasing Lung. Is that his real name? They're cute, they're collectible, and they are apparently worth going to jail for. So what is this thing, and why is it making people lose their minds? Let's break it down. I'm sincerely interested now. Here's the quick and dirty history. Labubu was created back in 2015 in Hong Kong. It's inspired by Nordic folklore, it has 9 teeth, and is mischievous, but kind-hearted. Then, in late 2023, Lisa from the K-pop group Blackpink, I bet she's hot, posted an unboxing of Labubu on her Instagram channel that reaches over 100 million users, instantly changing it from a toy on your shelf to a must-have fashion statement. It's exactly like the Tickle Me Elmos. Remember, as soon as it appeared on Rosie O'Donnell, we have to get a Tickle Me Elmo. This change in status propelled Labubu and Pop Mart's revenue by 1,200%, reaching 1.81 billion. That's with a B. By the end of 2024. The success has turned Pop Mart into a company valued at over 40 billion. In a striking illustration of the toy's market power, Pop Mart's founder, Wang Ning, not making that up, personal fortune increased by 1.6 billion in a single day due to the company's soaring stock value, due largely to the Labubu craze. How have I never even seen or heard about this before? Oh, that's right, because I'm a well-adjusted adult. Blind box madness. If you've never heard of it, a blind box is exactly what it sounds like. You buy a box, but you have no idea which toy from the series you're gonna get. It's a multi-million-dollar business model built on the same psychological principle as a slot machine, intermittent reinforcement. We see similar things like this at Comic-Cons and comic conventions, where you buy a box and who knows what kind of cool memorabilia might be in there, or what kind of bullshit memorabilia might be in there. You might get the one you want, you might get a double, or you might get a super rare chase figure. This model taps into powerful psychological principles of reward and anticipation. And, as with any gambling mechanism, it can have devastating negative effects on regular people. Oh boy, now it gets ugly. Take, for instance, here it comes, a story that became a cornerstone for media outlets and regulators in China about a couple in Beijing who fell deep into blind box addiction. Over the course of just 4 months, they spent 200,000 wands, approximately $30,000 US on blind boxes. Jesus, man, that is a gambling addiction. The reports paint a vivid picture of the couple's relatively small Beijing apartment being completely overrun by hundreds of these vinyl dolls. Boxes were stacked to the ceiling, figures covered every surface, and the sheer physical clutter became a source of daily stress and anxiety. Huge portion of the spending wasn't on random boxes from the store, it was on the secondary market, like China's eBay equivalent, Zhangyu. Bet you can get all kinds of fentanyl and freaky shit on Zhangyu. They were desperately trying to complete entire sets and would pay hugely inflated prices for 1 or 2 figures that they were missing. An even more extreme case, highlighted by Chinese media, was a 60-year-old, you're an adult, a 60-year-old collector who spent nearly $100,000 US in a single year on his collection. I work with a surgeon. He's one of the top 3 orthopedic surgeons in the nation. He's a very wealthy man. He has a classic car collection. He has like 8 or 9 classic cars. He buys them junk and rebuilds them, and that's his thing, classic cars. They're absolutely priceless as a collection, but it's not a lot of money for him. He's so wealthy that it's like playing golf. I can afford to go play golf once a month at a nice expensive course. That's for him. Once a month he can afford a nice expensive car. Do you have an expensive hobby? What's your most expensive hobby that you throw your money away on? This shit, yeah. But you're not gonna go to a debtor's prison to buy another ring light, are you? For him, it was less about the joy of unpacking and more about the classic collector's thrill of the hunt. I know what he means. A key angle highlighted in the financial media reports was that he viewed the massive spending as a form of investment. His aim was to own every figure Pop Mart had ever released, believing he would be acquiring assets that would appreciate in value.
Like, I don't think he made any of his money back.
I mean, there are the handful of super rare ones that sell on the secondary market for crazy money.
Yeah, but he's never gonna let them go.
So even if you do get one, you can't sell it, because now your collection is incomplete. So you have to get 2 of them, let it appreciate in value, and then sell it. This resulted in draining his entire life savings in the pursuit of thousands of dolls. His home was said to resemble a private museum or a Pop Mart warehouse with floor-to-ceiling glass display cases methodically filled with complete sets. So they're hoarders on top of it. You think it's only China? Oh, no. No, something so stupid must eventually make its way here to the United States. In the US, one user on a collecting forum admitted, "I have probably spent upwards of $4,000 or $5,000. I have so many I can't even display them. It's the thrill of the pull. I've had to hide my credit card statements from my husband." I agree, there's no reason to hit a woman, but you would be tempted. I'm not saying you do it, but I understand. Another post detailed the cycle of the addiction. You buy a few to get the one you want, you don't get it. So you buy a whole crate. Now you have the one you want, but you also have 11 others and you're out $150. Then a new series drops next month and you do it all over again. Oh, what a beautiful little crack addiction. That little hit of dopamine, there it is. That little hit of dopamine when you open the box keeps you coming back. And that desire to collect them all is what pushes people from being collectors to being headlines. Before we go to the felonies, oh boy, let's look at the sheer scale of this chaos. Melbourne, Australia. No rules, just ride. Earlier this year, a restock of Labubu's plushies was announced. People started queuing at 3 a.m. News reports described the scene as a frenzy, with hundreds of people crowding the store, desperate to get their hands on one.
You just in line for anything at 3 a.m.?
Not at 3. I once lined up at 5 a.m. to buy Tori Amos tickets. But it was 1995. You could only do it in person at Ticketmaster. And I was trying to impress a girl. At 9 a.m. when the Ticketmaster opened, I was still the only guy there. I saw the guy walk in, unlock the store. 10 minutes later, the lights came on. There was nobody else around. I walked in and bought a ticket and left. Time well spent. Long lines are one thing. What about a store so chaotic it can't even stay open? For that, we go back to China. Hangzhou, a grand opening of a new Pop Mart store, was forced to close its doors just 2 hours later, as customers started shoving, fighting, destroying store displays, and otherwise causing potential damage and bodily harm to other customers and employees. That's some risky shit to do in China. You'd end up in a gulag, man. Witnesses say the store had been completely overrun by scalpers, of course, who were using brute force to buy up the entire stock just to resell it online for insane markups. Sons of bitches. Things in retail stores got so bad that Pop Mart itself had to intervene. In May and June of 2025, Pop Mart officially suspended all offline sales of Labubu in both the United Kingdom and South Korea. This decision was made due to dangerous and unmanageable overcrowding, public disorder, fights, and aggressive scalpers, overwhelmed and abused staff, and failed controlled measures like ticketing and wristbands.
I don't think I've ever wanted anything that would get me to go into a crowd like that.
Maybe when I was a kid and Nintendo was brand new, I was pretty crazy for Nintendo. I think if I was old enough and I had the means, I might have done something crazy like this for Nintendo. For an original 8-bit Nintendo when it was the brand new, like, holy shit, yeah. In November 2024, a woman in Taiwan had spent years building her prized collection of Labubu dolls, which she cherished and displayed prominently in her home. After returning home from a trip, she discovered that her own sister, who was annoyed by the space the dolls took up, had secretly sold the entire collection to a local recycling center for $30.
Betrayal!
Still a ripoff, frankly. The collection is said to have been worth close to $3,000. The woman was completely devastated, posting online that it felt like her child had been sold. It's not even a fur baby, it's a plastic baby. The woman called the police, tried to have her sister arrested. Police said it was a civil dispute since both parties lived together in a shared home. Oh, so like hitting your wife, hitting your sister, it's a civil dispute. In September 23, a passenger flying into Beijing collected their suitcase from the baggage claim, only to discover that a highly valuable, limited edition Labubu doll was missing from their luggage. They immediately filed a report with airport police. The police reviewed the extensive surveillance footage of the baggage handling system. They discovered footage of a handler, not making this up either. His name was Wang, pausing at the passenger's specific suitcase. On camera, he is seen unzipping the bag, rummaging through it, and removing the single Labubu box before sending the luggage on its way. When the police tracked down and arrested Wang, he confessed immediately, explaining that he was also a Pop Mart collector and a huge Labubu fan. Oh, then it's okay. Wang got fired from his job at the airport. The doll was valued at $200. Chinese crime versus US crime. This is like that Chris Rock bit, white crime versus black crime. Around 5 a.m. in Orange, California, 3 suspects broke into the makeup shack. Security footage shows them going straight for a display case full of Labubus. Police and the owners believe the dolls were the primary target. They were valuable, untraceable, and in high demand. The combined retail value of the items stolen was around $20 to $30. But they can easily be flipped and sold online for $200 to $1,000 each. Wow, big deal. That's a lot of money then. In March 2025, Las Vegas, my kind of town, a con artist created a highly believable online persona posing as a Pop Mart insider or brand ambassador. Through dedicated collector groups on Facebook and Discord, he began circulating rumors and photoshopped images of an upcoming ultra-rare Las Vegas exclusive Labubu figure. This phantom doll was supposedly a prototype that wouldn't be released to the public. Is it a showgirl Labubu? I really hope so. Instead of just selling it, which might have triggered more skepticism, oh, brilliant, he offered to trade it for other high-value, authentic Labubu dolls. It's brilliant! He targeted collectors who had posted that their rare chase figures or sought-after older models were online. The scammer's method was pure theater. He would arrange to meet several different collectors for trades on the same day in the same public area near the casino. He would approach a victim, take their valuable doll, for example, a rare Zimumu worth hundreds, and say he needed to go verify its authenticity with a black light in his car or hotel room. He would then do the same thing with the second and third collector in a different part of the area. After collecting all the valuable dolls, he would simply walk out a different casino exit and vanish, leaving multiple victims standing around waiting. That's outstanding. So this is the Rolex you got for sale, huh? Yeah. You're asking $5,000 for it, huh? Can't do any better? You can go down to $4,500? Let me just take it out to my car and make sure it's a real Rolex. Hang on, I'll be right back. And then he drives away? That's the whole scam? You gotta find the stupidest mark in all of Nevada to do that. Well, it is the state of Nevada. Yes, it's not. While the unidentified thief is said to have made off with around $5,000 worth of stolen merchandise, he was never caught. I'm kind of glad about that. He deserves it. He earned this. Las Vegas police say he used a burner phone number and fake names. Due to the non-violent nature of the crimes, it's not considered a priority, nor should it be. Finally, oh, here, that's where it gets really stupid. What if Labubus are demons? In crap countries like Indonesia and Malaysia, I added the crap part when I saw Indonesia and Malaysia. I promise you, they're crap countries. A bizarre conspiracy theory began spreading on social media. The claim? Labubu dolls are demonic. Online conspiracy theorists believe the dolls represent the Kodam, which is a kind of spirit or genie in regional folklore. Like voodoo dolls?
Yeah.
People claim the dolls brought bad luck, that they are idols and that owning one is against their religion. It got so intense, people were posting videos, we gotta watch this, of themselves exorcising their dolls or throwing them away to protect their homes from evil spirits. I gotta imagine, if you exorcise the doll and your kid gets mad, because that's a $200 chase doll, why did you exorcise it?
There's videos of people like lighting them on fire.
Yeah, I wanna watch that. Oh man, I'll have fun with that one. There is, of course, hard to believe, no evidence for any of this, really. The creator is a Hong Kong artist, inspired by European fairy tales with no ties to Indonesia or Malaysia, but that doesn't matter. Well, from Hong Kong, he does have a tie. I mean, they're all Chinese.
Yeah.
If I didn't know the context that you were presenting this to me, I would think it was a prank. Because I remember the Beanie Baby craze, and that it was almost identical. And that seemed like just a one-off. Like, society isn't so stupid that they're gonna fall for this twice. Oh God, okay. Do you have a Labubu doll?
I've never have one. Like your kids aren't crazy about them.
I don't think so. I'll ask if they know what it is. The latest goofy craze that we went through was years ago. It was Shopkins. Remember Shopkins? That's what all the kids were collecting. They were these tiny little toy household items. So pick an item in your house: a toaster, a teeny little toaster. A cell phone, it'd be a teeny tiny little cell phone. A dresser drawer, teeny tiny little dresser drawer. A saute pan, teeny tiny little saute. I mean, everyday stupid items, just super small. Thousands, all their friends. Everybody was collecting Shopkins. There'd be hundreds of them. They would just leave them lying around. I would just vacuum them up. I didn't give a shit. Let's get this shit out of my hair. And they were so plentiful they wouldn't even notice. AI nothing. We're going to kill ourselves long beforehand. This is stupid. How much dumber can humanity get? How much dumber can humanity get? I have to think the answer is not much more. Like, share, click, subscribe. If you're a fan of this labia doll, let us know. What's the deal? I want to know. Send us pictures of your labia. Explain to us why you like it. And we'll judge how much it's worth. $30, $1,000. A super rare labia worth $1,000. I'll be the judge of what it's worth on the open market.
The end.